Hi there. Welcome to the first live training session here on Life So Blissful. So today's topic is procrastination and how you can use these 6 warning signs to identify procrastination and reframe and change your mindset about the idea around procrastination and change it into productivity. And we're also going to be talking about few simple things you can follow to do this and some mind hacks. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Mahesha. I am the principal hypnotist and the founder of Life So Blissful. So if you're joining me live, please say hi and give me some thumbs up and some hearts so I know that you're here. And if you're watching the replay, don't be shy to say hi. Say hi and introduce yourself to us. So again, today's topic is procrastination, and we're going to go dive deep into 6 warning signs that you can use to identify whenever procrastination is slowly starting to creep in to your daily life and your work schedule. And then we will talk a little bit about how you can change your language around the idea of procrastination and how you can change your mindset about this and change the attitude towards what's happening when you start to procrastinate. And then we will also talk about some very simple ways that you can follow to improve your productivity. And then at the very end, I will give you an awesome way that you can use, an awesome mind hack you can use to actually not just be productive for a little bit, but to actually make it a long-lasting or forever habit. Program productivity into your deep subconscious mind so it just becomes just another thing that you always do. How does that sound? But you will have to stay till the very end if you want to catch that special mind hack, okay? So tell me, what do you think is the granddaddy of procrastination? The granddaddy of procrastination is the thought process that starts like, I will do it when I finish this other thing, right? I will start after I have a cup of tea. I will start after I finish these dishes. I will start when I'm done with this other important thing. I mean, this other important thing has been on my to-do list forever. And I think I should finish that first. But I will get back to this once I'm done with that. You see how this thought process works? I mean, having been a world-class procrastinator myself and having overcome that, I think I'm pretty qualified to talk about this subject. But tell me, what's your definition of procrastination? I mean, we have all these different ideas about procrastination and any topic we talk about in life, right? Like everybody has different definitions of different things. So what's your definition of procrastination? Some people go into talking about how it overwhelms them and how the thought process works, how it's stressful and all these different things that happens. So tell me in the comments, what's your definition of procrastination? I actually went ahead and checked the dictionary for the definition of procrastination, and the dictionary definition is the action of delaying or postponing something. I mean, that sounds just about right. The only thing is it's missing one key component, which is the emotional and the psychological aspect of it. So what really happens on the subconscious level when we start procrastinating is there's this fight between 2 parts of yourself. There's one part which is the childlike part. The childlike part just wants to have fun and just relax, have some chocolate, order some pizza and watch some Netflix, right? And then on the other hand is the more adult-like part. The adult-like part wants to achieve things, do big things in the world, impact the world, influence people, make change happen, do things for others, and also feel fulfilled, accomplish things. And when we procrastinate, these two parts are always clashing. The childlike part is demanding for chill time, while the adult-like part is saying, no, we need to get things done. And you're always in this fight between the two. So being a hypnotist, I have to talk a little bit about how hypnotherapy can help with this, right? So with hypnotherapy, we integrate these two parts so they no longer fight with each other. Whenever we have a conflict, they come together, they discuss with each other what they need to do, and we actually end up communicating with these two parts and having them work together in harmony. And when that happens, eventually wonderful transformation starts to take place. Isn't that wonderful? So we have to understand that procrastination is not conscious behavior. It's a subconscious trigger caused by anxiety, caused by fear to avoid something that is fearful. So it can be thought of as a piece of passive-aggressive behavior or as sabotage. So, but we have to understand that it's also a survival mechanism. It's a coping mechanism. And when subconsciously we are fearing something, a threat, we stop on our tracks. We freeze until things start to burn up and you feel the heat on your seat because there's a deadline approaching. So the last minute we scramble things up and somehow get things done. And yes, we get things done and we meet our expectations most of the time. And then we say, oh yeah, I am the best, or I work the best when I'm under pressure. Does this sound familiar to you? If any of this resonates with you, give me some thumbs up and share your excitement with me. So really, when procrastination happens, what we are trying to do is secure ourselves, feel secure. Because imagine when you're procrastinating, there's not really enough time or the freedom to do your very, very best, right? And at the end, in case you don't produce your very best work, you can still say, oh yeah, well, I didn't have enough time to really do the best. Because, procrastination is a problem of time. And we end up saying, if I had more time, if I didn't actually procrastinate, I could have done a much, much better job. So we are actually trying to feel secure, to make that self-identity feel good and feel secure. So why is this happening? Procrastination is actually a product and outcome of all these other subconscious things like fear of failure, fear of success. If you didn't procrastinate, you have to face these things. And procrastination is just something we stand behind to feel good about ourselves in a certain way. But of course, because of those two parts, the adult-like part always wanting the best things, there's going to be a clash, and that's when you feel stressed, you feel overwhelmed, and you keep going on guilt trips about not getting things done when you should be doing things, right? So how do we prevent this from happening? We prevent this from happening by identifying, before we actually get into this long, reverseless, miserable path of procrastination. So what are the warning signs? Let's go ahead and talk about the warning signs of procrastination. One is overwhelm. Overwhelm is when we have so much going on, there's too much on the plate to handle. So you feel overwhelmed, and so instead of actually trying to tackle all these things on the plate, we just go back to retreating, to escaping, right? So procrastination is in fact the primal behavior of fight or flight reaction. That's really what's happening at the end of the day. And then another warning sign is deprivation. There's so much going on, there's so much to do, and so much so that there's really not enough time for you to actually take a break, to relax, or even go on vacation. So subconsciously, you're just thinking, I can't even take a vacation, right? So might as well just chill right now and not do this for just for a little bit. Do you resonate with this? Any of this vibe with you? So the next one is the language. Always saying I have to. Talking in terms of I have to. I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to do this and that and all these other things. And that causes us to procrastinate. Next one is sense of time, right? The wrong sense of time, right? There's just not enough time for me to do any of this. And that causes us to procrastinate, thinking that there's not enough time. The other one is fear of mistakes, fear of doing something wrong, fear of tripping and falling. And another warning sign is that perfectionism is going to make you not want to do it because you're worried you're not going to produce something super perfect in the end. And that can cause you to procrastinate. So, okay, now you have identified the procrastination signs, but what can you do about them? If you want, you can write these things down. So the first method of reversing things or changing things is to change your language. How do we change our language around procrastination? We start with changing I have to into I choose to. And then we can say, instead of saying to finish, we can say to start. And instead of saying big, we say small. Instead of saying perfect, we say doable, humanly possible. Isn't that wonderful? I love that one. And then lastly, saying pain instead of saying quality of life and quality of work instead of pain. So pain turns into quality of work, quality of life. How does that sound? So let me give you a full example. When we procrastinate, we say things like, I have to do something big perfectly and suffer a lot of pain. That's the mindset, right? But instead, we say, I choose to start something small, take one small step at a time, make it doable with plenty of time for quality of work and for quality of my life. It's as simple as that. That's the kind of reframing that we can do to change our mindset and the way we react to thoughts of and behavioral patterns of procrastination. And all right, so you have identified your procrastinating signs, and you have changed and reframed your mindset, your thought patterns, and you changed your language around it. Now what? What can we do to actually be productive? I have 3 very simple things, the best simple things that you can possibly do. And you can go beyond that, of course, but always start small, right? What can we do? We start small. We start with just 30-minute segments of things. Just pick your project and start with 30 minutes. And when you start, you create momentum and you keep going. But hey, maybe you don't like doing whatever the task that you're doing. If that's the case, that's okay. You don't have to keep going. The whole point of 30-minute segment is it's a 30-minute segment. So go ahead and just do that 30-minute segment of work. If you don't want to keep going, pause. That's totally fine. Take a break and then come back to another 30-minute segment and another 30-minute segment. And when you do that at the end of the day or at the end of the week, you will be so happy that you have actually started and gotten somewhere and maybe even completed this project. Isn't that just wonderful? And what's also really important is to actually block time for recreational activities. So that way, when you're actually working on those small steps, taking small action steps, you know at the end of it all, you have time to actually chill and do nothing and do whatever it is that you want to do to just enjoy and relax. And you can also give yourself a reward for starting, for finishing, and just getting things done. That way, there's a motivation to actually start and do whatever that you have to do. So we have come to the end of this training session, the interesting part. Now you have identified procrastinating signs, you have reframed your thoughts and mindset around it, and you have some very simple action steps that you can take to improve your productivity. But there's a problem with all of this. Right now, if you really want to be productive, you will most probably actually use these steps and use these ideas to do something happen. But the problem is we lose that inspiration, we lose that fire over time. And then we think, oh, I need to be disciplined. What do you think of discipline? Discipline is not something we can really do. But the difference between successful people, and we think that these successful people are disciplined, but there's a small thing that we need to address there. Their discipline is actually not discipline, but it's habit. They use discipline when they have the most willpower, the most motivation around something, and then turn that into a habit by practicing and repeating over and over again, and then it becomes a habit and it just becomes their true nature. And you can do this same thing with productivity. You start now, you take small actions, and then focus on making that change, that actions you take, into long-lasting habits. So how can you do that? The best and the most effective tool that I have in my self-development pack is self-hypnosis. Now, when I say hypnosis, what comes to your mind? Have you been hypnotized before? Have you tried hypnosis? Well, some people love it, especially those who have actually experienced it. But some people are intrigued, but they're scared. If you're worried about what happens or you're worried about losing control, hear me out. Hypnosis is not about losing control. You cannot lose control. That's impossible. All these things they show in movies and stage hypnosis, that's not how hypnosis works. It's so different in real life. It's actually just a procedure of relaxation. We relax, we go into a deep relaxation mode under hypnosis, where we are physically deeply relaxed and mentally and emotionally relaxed as well. It's a wonderful, amazing relaxation place to be in. And when that happens, our critical mind, the analytical mind, is silenced for a little bit. So when you give positive suggestions, positive affirmations to yourself under hypnosis, they stick. The subconscious mind absorbs them without a filter, without the filter of your critical and analytical mind. So if you have had experience with doing self-affirmations and you have had trouble actually making things happen with self-affirmations, you are gonna love self-hypnosis. Because with affirmations, just doing them, sometimes the subconscious mind doesn't accept them. Because the critical mind is there interfering with all the positive suggestions that you're giving to yourself. With hypnosis, we completely eliminate that problem. So how do we handle procrastination and instill behaviors of productivity using hypnosis? It's very simple. You can actually use a full, complete guide to self-hypnosis that's available in our free mind training library. I will leave a link down in the comments for you to access that. And you can use that and go into a self-hypnotic state all on your own. That's a wonderful tool. And once you get into that hypnotic state, here's what you can do for productivity. Imagine yourself 5 years from now. You haven't made any changes. You are just going on the same way that you are. And 5 years from now, imagine yourself in your mind's eye. What's happening? What's around you? And say out loud. So 5 years from now is 2022. This is 2022. I haven't really made any changes. Everything is the same. I'm miserable. And then we come back to today and make some changes in your mindset. Imagine yourself working on your day-to-day life in your workstation. Think about how you're working with much more focus, with calm and clarity. Think about your breathing, you're calm, you're collected. You're taking small steps, handling small things one at a time, completing projects. And regardless of the outcome, you know that you're safe. And you are making small steps to make change happen. And now, imagine yourself again 5 years from now. And see what's happening around you. And say out loud to yourself, I made changes happen. I took small actions. And things are great. And see yourself around the people you love, people you work with, how they appreciate you, how they respect you for the way you do things, for the impact you are making. Feel good about yourself. And then go ahead and give yourself some amazing positive suggestions about productivity and how you work productively. And then thank yourself for doing this awesome work, because you're awesome, you're great. And that's all you have to do, and you can come out of self-hypnosis. By doing this, we are instilling this new idea of productivity and enjoying being productive and make it your nature, your first nature. How does that all sound? If you like any of this stuff we spoke about, give me likes and give me some likes and some hearts so I know what you think about them, and tell me in the comments your ideas, your thoughts, and if you have any questions, ask away. I'm here to answer any and all questions. And if you have any questions later when you're trying out the self-hypnosis guide, send me a message anytime with anything at all. Even if it's not related to procrastination or implanting or reprogramming your mind with productivity, just send me a message. If you have any questions about anything specific, anything particular that you want to work on using hypnosis, and if you have any questions, just send me a message. I'm always here to answer. So, I hope you enjoyed today's procrastination training, and I hope you learned and took notes probably about the warning signs, the 6 warning signs that leads you to procrastination, how to identify them, how to change your language and reframe your mindset around the idea of procrastination, and the simple 3 things that you can do to improve your productivity, and the mind hack you can use to actually make productivity a habit. Again, let me know if you have any questions. And if you know someone who can use this information, please do share this video with them. I'm sure they will appreciate it, and I will appreciate you as well for sharing this message. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful, beautiful Thursday and a productive day as well. Bye now.